For those of you who don't know me, I'm Tom Iovino. I'm not only a woodworker, but in my day job, I'm a public educator for Pinellas County government about disaster preparedness. Now, what does this mean? It means here in Pinellas County, my big push is hurricane preparedness. Now, I'm not going to tell you, get ready for hurricanes, run for the hills. I'm not going to tell you that. What I am going to tell you, though, is that there is a tragedy that does happen during disasters. And the tragedy is a lot of wood shops get destroyed or damaged. Okay? So really what you want to do is you want to be ready because you never know when it's going to happen. I've got a friend who's out in Houston, Galveston, Texas. And during Hurricane Ike, his shop flooded out. And he lost a lot of tools. Anything he couldn't really carry upstairs to his house to get out in the basement was lost. Table saw, workbench, the whole 9 yards. So he had to restart his house from scratch. But it's not just hurricanes. I mean, think about it. We have tornadoes here in Florida. Not like what we see out in Kansas, but we get them here. We get flooding. If it rains heavily, we'll get flooded. Think about a fire in your house, in the shop. Think about if somebody breaks in, some knucklehead breaks into your shop and decides they want to take your tools. So really what you want to do is you want to get ready for a disaster. You want to be ready. And the most important thing about anything you have in your shop is know what's there. Big deal with getting ready for a disaster is just having a shop inventory. Fortunately, there's a lot of stuff you can do to get ready for that. We all know the traditional walk around, get it with a pad, write down model numbers and serial numbers and all that other stuff. You can do that, but there's actually a good way to do it online. And there's a group called the Insurance Information Institute. They do a good job with us. We work with them. And they've got a site called knowyourstuff.org. Knowyourstuff.org. And on knowyourstuff.org, you can actually put together your inventory of what you've got in your shop. And you can take pictures and upload pictures with it. Believe me, the insurance companies will replace your stuff. They just need to know what's there. If you say, well, I think I've got this, I think I've got that, and you can't prove it, you're not going to get it back, or it's going to be difficult for that to happen. So what you can do is just go on a site like that, you can put all the information in. It doesn't have to be, like receipts and all that other business, although that does help. But really understanding, taking pictures of the set of chisels you've got, taking pictures of the router bits you've got. I mean, these are all, it's just an investment. Now, some of the things that you want to put in this inventory, of course, are also, you can walk around and take a video of your shop as well. I mean, every camera now, every phone now has a video camera. You can run around and take a video. And I've heard a lot of stories out in California with the wildfires coming in, where you get maybe 20 minutes to videotape everything in your house. The insurance companies were able to use that to help restore the things that were lost. So, again, some way to document what's in your house. Always, the other thing you need to do, especially with your insurance, is read your policy. It sounds like a basic thing you should do, but really, you need to read your policy to figure out what's covered. For instance, Lynn McChristian, who's with the Insurance Information Institute, she's the Florida rep. She said that a lot of people don't understand that when it comes to with high-end tools, some policies may set a limit on liability. So if you have a $2,500 Unisaw and somebody were to drive up and cart that off, you may only be good for $1,500. So you want to read the policy, figure out what's covered. If you need to get a rider on your tools, if it's something very expensive, talk to your insurer about that. That's an important thing to do. And another thing you've got to remember is that a lot of things like fire, theft, hurricanes can be covered by a homeowner's policy. The only thing that doesn't get covered by that is flood. So your homeowner's policy will never cover flooding, not since the late 60s. So what you want to do is go to a site called floodsmart.gov. And that's actually the Federal National Flood Insurance Program site. And you can get an estimate of what your flood insurance is going to be. I live in Largo. I live in an X zone, which means that we're not likely to get flooded in 100 years. For me, it's about $200. And I get a pretty decent coverage from the house. So even if you get 1 inch of water in your house, in your shop, and you lose stuff, it covers that. Your homeowner's insurance policy won't cover any of it. So you do need a separate flood policy on that as well. And one other thing I can tell you about is, definitely check out this site called insuringflorida.org. It's the blog that Lynn McChristian puts together for Florida-specific insurance matters. It has the latest on the laws that are specific here in Florida. Florida's a pretty messed up state when it comes to insurance, so you want to know the latest and the greatest on that. And then as far as the standard everyday stuff, have a first aid kit in your shop. If there's ever an accident, you want to be able to put that out. Get a smoke detector for your shop. It's a small investment, but if you hear that in the middle of the night, something may be going on. We all heard the story about the oily rags that catch fire. You want to make sure you know if there's anything like that going on, you want to be notified immediately. If you do get a fire extinguisher for your shop, put it up by the door that goes outside of your building. Don't put it inside the shop where you have to go into the building to get it, because you want to be able to have an access, an egress behind you in case the fire is spreading faster than you can put it out. So always have that fire extinguisher mounted by that exterior door going outside. And if it's too big, just run quick and call 911. The fire department will get out there. Fires move very quickly, they spread very quickly. You don't want to be inside the shop trying to battle a blaze when you should be outside letting the pros take care of it. Okay, that's an important thing to remember. But again, you know, make sure you keep your wiring in good condition. Make sure you read and follow all the instructions on your tools. Really, every disaster, no matter how small, if it ruins your shop and ruins your tools, it's your own disaster. So definitely be ready this hurricane season. Read up on things, find out about your insurance policy, and make sure your shop is set, just in case. You know, we don't want to hear any stories here about somebody's house that burned down because something happened in the shop. So definitely keep that in mind.